We would forget something every time. No matter, you wrote yourself a note, we would forget something every single time.
What's up, everyone? This is Drew from Subarex. About a month ago, we posted a grand opening video celebrating the official move into our new shop. The original plan was to have all the members of Subarex participate in the video, but we ultimately ended up going a different direction for the final edit. This left us with a pretty sizable chunk of unused footage that we didn't want to completely abandon, so we figured we'd upload each member's piece as a standalone video, giving kind of a closer look at the inner workings of Subarex. These videos will be pretty casual and not as tightly edited as our usual content. I will be editing out any technical issues or excessive dead air, but in general, we're approaching it as more of a video podcast than the typical vlog style content we usually put out. First up is Eric. Eric's our lead mechanic, our project manager, and he's been with Subarex for as long as Subarex has existed. He's also a little more camera shy than Jim or myself are, so instead of just shoving him out there by himself, Jim sat down with him and decided to treat it as more of an interview than a monologue. The result was a great conversation covering everything from the early days of Subarex, back when it was called CarX Pre-Owned and Rebuilt Autos, all the way to his plans and ambitions for the future of the company. I think it was super interesting stuff, and hopefully you all will too. So that out of the way, let's jump into it.
Are you happy now?
I'm real happy.
Well, good. Well, if you've ever managed to catch a Subarex video in the past, you've met Eric Cullum. So I want to tell you a little bit of history. Eric and I met, I was 15 and he was 9. That would have been in 1975. So Eric and I pretty much grew up together. And Eric also, he and I have been together since the beginnings of Subarex. That was in 2008, I think we built Sydney's car. You know, Eric's been through thick and thin with us. He's moved every shop we've moved to. So tell us the travels you've been through with Subarex, where we started up in Williamstown, where you went from there, and to where we are today.
Well, actually, we started at BSSI.
Well, you were, when we were up...
And then we went to Lawrence.
Oh, is that how we did that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's got, like I said, he's been here since the beginning, and he's younger than me, so he's got a better memory than me. So tell a bit about... Well, tell us a little bit about the travels, what we've been through, and building this little car company to where we are here today.
Well, we first started buying them in actually, I think we bought our first car in 09. We built it at the other shop. Then we went to Lawrence, and we tried it up there, and it didn't fly. So then we come back to the shop, and then we were there for a few years, and we ended up here.
So how did that work with respect to what was your shop focused on? What did you do?
Oh, well, we built it depends on what time you're talking about. We built the cars there. That's when we did all the flood cars. We stripped them down to a shell and built the car, sold the car.
Remember that year when this was during Hurricane Sandy, right?
Yeah, 2012.
Remember how many cars we had come through here? We had just bought the warehouse, and
I think it was 200 cars or something like that, wasn't it?
Not quite that many. I think it was just right at about 100, but I know it seemed like 200 because talk a little bit about when those cars came in. That was the dead of winter. Remember that?
Oh, the cars would come in, be freezing cold. We'd strip them all the way down to the bare shell, and then clean them out, get all the salt water out of them, dry them out, and put them in storage.
And then once we had them in storage, talk about some of those, you know,
we'd buy a total, and we'd incorporate that car into the flood shell and document everything, take pictures of everything, and then sell them. And
to this day, I know we bought almost 100. We probably built 50 or 60 of those cars, maybe half of them, maybe more. I guess we built all shells.
Yeah. We only got maybe 10 left. Maybe if that. I don't think we got 10 left.
You know, and the beauty of those builds is, when we were doing that, we didn't, because we had that clean shell that was stripped.
Yep.
There was no damage to the car that we had to repair, right?
No.
And then talk about what, when you'd repopulate these cars with the collision vehicle, talk about the process we'd go through. We'd get that collision car in and go where?
We'd get the collision car in, we'd strip it all the way down, bag and tag everything, every nut and bolt. Nothing was left on the floor. Everything was bagged and tagged. And then we would move the strip shell over to one side of the garage, then we'd pull the other shell in and start incorporating it. We'd put the motor and tranny in all in one piece, struts and everything all went in one piece. And we'd do the harness, build the doors, do the trunk, do the rear end gas tank. We got it down to, I believe it was 3.5, 4 days we got it down to redoing one car. Strip, build, out the door, 4 days.
So we're sitting here, I think we have in the frame here this 2019 Subaru Legacy. And that car is going to my sister Vicky, right? Talk about the car that she's in now. It was one of our Hurricane Sandy cars, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's still driving that car. It's haven't had any problems with it. I don't think I think it's got under 80,000 on it. I think she bought it at 30.
Yeah, it was low miles. And that, of course, that's what we say. We can fix anything but miles.
Yeah.
Why is that? Talk about that for a minute. When we're looking
it
at
doesn't have any miles on it. It doesn't have any miles on it. It says it speaks for itself.
Yeah, I think, will you agree that, for example, do we ever look at a car with 100,000 miles on it?
No, only if it's parts car, and then we rarely do that. If it's a parts car with sheet metal only, we'd buy it if it had 100,000 on it.
All right, so talk a little bit now about, while we're building the shop, you were still building cars in your shop north of here, right?
Yeah.
Well, talk about the differences between how we were doing things. How many trips would you make up and down Grand Central, getting Chris what he needs, getting you what you need? Talk about what that was like.
Just parts when moving a car, we'd leave. We would forget something every time. No matter, you wrote yourself a note, we would forget something every single time. There was something you missed every single time we moved. Every time you move parts, you lose something. You either lose or forget. That's how it went. That was the most frustrating part of it. I probably put 50,000 miles on my car in a year. It was just, we'd have to tow it from my shop to the body shop back to my shop, sometime back to the body shop, back to my shop. It was just a pain in the butt. It was a pain. But we did it. We built them. We kept building them.
Well, talk about what it's like being here.
Oh, it's a lot nicer. Now, we really don't lose anything now. We know where everything is. Everything's in one place. I still got to do running, but it's a lot less running, and everybody's together. We know what's going on with what everybody's doing now.
As we've been doing this all these years, we've talked about building a good, solid team of people that we can depend on each other. And so talk a little bit about our crew here at Subarex now and how we're working together.
We got a good crew. We work together really well. We get along just like one big happy family most of the time. There is days we have. Of course, everybody has days. It's all on how you deal with it.
So talk a little bit about the future now that we're here under one roof with this kind of a process going on. What do you see over the next 5 years with Subarex?
Building cars. Building and selling cars. That's what I dream about.
It's what you've done your whole life, right?
What I've done my whole life, and my body is paying for it.
Well, we try to get you a little help now and then, don't we?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, like I said, to wrap it up with Eric, we're family, we're friends, we've had each other's back for a lot of years. We've had the same kind of arguments that he was mentioning a couple minutes ago, it's but it's to see it coming together like this and the dreams that we've had for all these years keeping with it, right? I mean, we have stuck with it, and it's paying off. So,
We're building.
Drew, all right,
Yep, you're about out of time on this card anyway, so.
right there.
Good, we're done.
Hey. All right, you can get back to doing what you like.
This right here.
Yep, I forgot.